Roger Ebert is a Pulitzer Prize-winning movie critic. He's also quite a character. In fact, when he wanted to know the best way to watch a movie, he went to an ophthalmologist who told him he should always sit twice as far back as the screen is wide.
And why is that?
So his eyes don't have to move so much. It's less of a strain.
Well, you know, I also read that he thinks it's better to see a movie in the theater because on a VCR, you lose about 40% of the picture. And I guess he should know because Roger Ebert is 100% movie buff.
Movies were movies when you paid a dime to escape. Cheering the hero and hissing the man in the cape.
Some say movies were movies when movies were silent. Then Hollywood introduced talkies and musicals. And then...
I'm Roger Ebert, film critic for the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel, film critic of the Chicago Tribune.
Critics started talking about movies. Meet Roger Ebert, Chicago film critic, Pulitzer Prize winner, and one half of the dueling debaters seen on Ebert and Siskel's At the Movies.
When did you first fall in love with movies?
Would have been when I was about 8 years old at the Princess Theater on Main Street in Urbana, Illinois, where they had a 9-cent Saturday matinee, and for 9 cents, you got 2 movies, 5 color cartoons, a newsreel, all the ads for the local merchants and businessmen, plus Dan the Yo-Yo Man came around once a year and had a yo-yo contest.
Well, that was in 1950. These days, Roger is still going to the movies, only now he doesn't put down 9 cents. He picks up a paycheck to do it. Although he's a newspaper man at heart, he's best known for his unrehearsed, unabashed film critiques with his partner, Gene Siskel. Together, they're seen on At the Movies by 11 million people every week.
You have a lot of power, don't you?
I guess. We talk to a lot of people every week, and whether or not they agree with us is an open question because sometimes we don't even agree with each other. But we do, I think, have a lot of input, at least, into the information people have about new movies.
Well, let me ask you about your relationship with your partner.
Okay.
When you guys are done with the arguing, and sometimes the agreeing, do you shake hands and go out for lunch?
No, we don't go out for lunch. We don't go out for dinner either, and we don't double date. We are competitors, and he works for the Tribune and I work for the Sun-Times, and 5 days a week, that's the way it is. And then on Thursdays, when we tape our show, we come into the studio and we do the show, but with an adversarial relationship.
After 10 years on the tube and another 9 with the paper, Roger has accumulated some 5,000 movie reviews. He is a wealth of information, which he recently decided to assemble in a book. It's called Roger Ebert's Movie Home Companion.
Why did you put together the book?
This is a book of about 450 reviews of movies that have been released since 1980, and it's basically targeted at people who have a VCR and would like to have my opinion to go along with their own in terms of what they're going to rent or what they think about what they've rented.
Now here's a man who's thinking. Fact, movies are no longer just a theatrical experience. Fact, 19 million Americans own VCRs. Fact, 95% of all movies rented were produced in the last 5 years. And fact, people simply don't know what to choose.
Let me get some best and worst from you. Best movie.
Ever made?
Ever made.
Citizen Kane by Orson Welles.
Do you have a favorite actress?
A favorite actress? Meryl Streep is really good. Among the young, up-and-coming actresses, Rosanna Arquette. But Ingrid Bergman would have to be #1 on my list.
How about actors?
Robert Mitchum. Mitchum is the last of the great giants.
Okay, worst.
You see, the hard thing about answering that question is that a movie actress or actor, they're so much at the mercy of the script and the director
Yes.
that you really sometimes, when you see something good, you feel like praising them. But often when you see something bad, you're not really sure it's their fault.
How about Dune?
Dune, awful movie. Awful movie. Small Change. That's Truffaut's terrific picture about kids. Porky's Revenge, one of the worst movies ever made. Here's The Incredible Shrinking Woman, Lily Tomlin, a waste of Lily Tomlin. You can just keep going here. Amadeus, it's like a kid in a candy store.
You said it, Roger. And by the way, those opinions he rattles off have been known to influence many a moviegoer's choices. That, in light of the risks Hollywood studios take in producing and releasing films, is quite a responsibility. However,
I'm a little minority of one, and I think we all feel that way, and we have to make up our own mind about the movies.
Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel have an interesting contract situation. Right now they are known as Siskel and Ebert, but in 3 years they switch and they will be known as Ebert and Siskel.
Well, sneak previews went on quite successfully without Siskel and Ebert, and we're all excited because Nancy Glass is a regular part of that show doing commentaries on the film industry.
Well, we're on to our next story.
Can you get me on that show?
Absolutely.
Really?
When are you making your next movie?
Oh.
Our next story is about Connie Silica. She is one of the stars of the popular television show Hotel. On it, she plays the hotel's sexy, smart, and sophisticated assistant manager.